Welcome to the Reputation Matters podcast. We're here to help you protect and enhance your online reputation. Tune in for tips, tricks, and expert advice. Ready to take control of your online presence? Visit yourrepmatters.com to learn more.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into online reputation management, ORM, and how it impacts lead generation. We've got a really cool blog post.
Blog post definitely makes you think about all the businesses out there that might be, missing out on a really powerful tool to get so focused on traditional marketing that they kind of forget how much their online reputation can really influence potential leads.
So before we really get into it, can you just give us a quick rundown of what exactly ORM is? It feels like such a buzzy term, but sometimes it's not always clear what it means,
Yeah, you're right. It can be a little bit vague,
Yeah.
but at its core, it's really about shaping and managing how people see your brand online. It's not just about putting out fires when you get a bad review or something. It's about actively building that positive presence online that attracts customers and builds trust.
Right. So it's making sure your digital storefront is always looking good. But why is ORM so important, specifically when we're talking about getting new leads?
Well, think about it. The last time you were researching a product or a service, what did you do? You probably Googled it, read some reviews, maybe checked out their social media, and potential customers are doing the exact same thing with your business. They're forming opinions about your brand based on what they see online.
So it's that first impression, but in the digital world. And these days, that first impression can really make or break whether a customer decides to, even engage with your business at all.
Exactly. And this blog post actually has some pretty crazy data in it. It says 88% of consumers trust online reviews just as much as personal recommendations from, friends and family. That's a lot of people.
88%. Wow, that really shows you just how much power those online opinions have, But would you say that reviews are the only thing that matters for ORM? I mean, a brand's online presence is so much more than just star ratings.
Oh, for sure. Reviews are super important, don't get me wrong. But it's also about, how you're managing your social media, engaging with customers online, and, dealing with any negative stuff that might come up. It's about creating a positive and consistent story online that really connects with your audience.
So it's not just about damage control. It's about actively building that positive reputation online that attracts customers and makes them trust you. I'm curious, what are some of the things that businesses can do to use ORM for lead generation?
Well, one big area is building trust with potential customers. And that's about more than just, showing off good reviews. It's about how you respond to those reviews, the good and the bad, and doing it quickly and professionally, engaging with people on social media, answering their questions, addressing any concerns. You're showing that you're a real business with real people who care about their customers' experiences.
Right. So it's about being human, building relationships with potential customers. And wouldn't that also help you show up higher in search results? Google likes websites that are active, right?
Yeah, you're right. There's a strong connection between, ORM and SEO. When you have positive reviews, good content that people are engaging with, an active online presence that tells search engines that your site is relevant and trustworthy. And that can mean higher rankings in search results, which means more traffic to your website and more leads.
So it's a win-win. But what about that idea of social proof? That's a big buzzword these days, but how does that fit in with ORM and lead generation?
So social proof is that, psychological thing where people are more likely to do something if they see other people doing it too. When we're talking about ORM, social proof can look like a lot of different things. Positive reviews, testimonials, case studies, social media shares, even media mentions. It's all about showing potential customers that other people have had good experiences with your brand to build trust and credibility.
So it's word of mouth marketing, but online, right? Powered by the experiences of your actual customers. It seems like ORM is really about bringing all these different strategies together to create that compelling story online that attracts new customers.
Exactly. And it's not just about getting new customers. It's about taking care of the ones you already have by providing great customer experiences and actively managing your online reputation. You can create a loyal customer base who will basically become ambassadors for your brand. And that just amplifies your online presence even more and brings in even more leads.
Okay, this is all making a lot of sense, but let's be real. Not every business has a perfect online reputation. You're going to get negative reviews, negative comments are going to pop up. So how does ORM deal with that?
Well, that's where the management part of online reputation management really comes in, right? You can't stop negative feedback altogether, but you can control how you respond to it. And actually, this blog post makes a really good point. It says that handling those negative reviews well can actually make your reputation better in the long run.
Really? I don't know about that. How can a bad review ever be a good thing?
Put yourself in the customer's shoes. Imagine you see a business that only has glowing reviews, 5 stars across the board. Doesn't that seem a little too good to be true? Maybe they're fake or something.
Yeah, I guess you have a point there. A few negative reviews sprinkled in can actually make a business seem more, I don't know, real.
Exactly. And it's not just about having those negative reviews. It's about how you handle them, when you respond quickly, professionally, and with empathy. You're showing potential customers that you care about making things right.
So you're not trying to hide the negative feedback. You're using it as a chance to show off your company's values and how much you care about customer service.
That's it. It's all about transparency and responsiveness. Those go a long way in building trust with potential customers. It's not about being perfect. It's about being human.
That makes sense. But wouldn't that take a lot of time and effort, especially for businesses that have a big online presence?
It can be time-consuming, for sure, but it's an investment, and there are tools and strategies that can make it easier. Like, you can use social media monitoring software to track mentions of your brand and set up Google alerts for your business name and, your main products or services.
Yeah, that's smart. But what about businesses that are just starting out? Or the ones that haven't been paying much attention to their online reputation? Where do they even begin? It can seem like a lot to tackle all at once.
You're right, it can be daunting, but even small steps can make a big difference. Start by claiming your business listings on those big platforms. Google My Business, Yelp, TripAdvisor. Make sure your information is accurate, and the same on every platform. And then focus on encouraging customers to leave reviews. You can even, offer a little something, like a discount or a raffle, to encourage people to leave reviews.
That's a great place to start. It's about building that foundation for a positive online reputation and putting a system in place for managing it. But for those businesses that are ready to take things to the next level, what are some more advanced strategies that they can use to really up their ORM game? I mean, this is the deep dive after all.
So one area that's getting really popular is sentiment analysis. It's basically using software to, analyze the tone and sentiment. In online reviews and social media posts, it can help you spot potential issues or areas where you could improve that you might not catch just by reading individual reviews.
So it's like taking the temperature of your audience online and getting a feel for their overall perception of your brand.
Exactly. And there are also tools out there that can help you track your reputation across the web, see what your competitors are doing online, and even predict potential risks to your reputation before they even happen. It's about using data to understand your online audience and how they see your brand.
Wow, this is really interesting stuff. I can see why the blog post called ORM a secret weapon. It's not just a one-time fix, it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah, it's all about building that positive online presence. And it can make a huge difference for your business. And as the digital world keeps changing, it's only going to become more important for businesses to really prioritize their online reputation and invest in the right strategies and tools to help them succeed in this ever-changing environment.
You know what's really interesting to me is how this blog post really emphasizes that ORM. It's not just about reacting to bad stuff. It's about proactively building and shaping your online reputation. It's an asset, something that can actually drive real business results.
So it's almost like you have to think of your online reputation as an investment, something you got to nurture and build over time.
Exactly. It's not a quick fix. It's a long game. And that shift in thinking is so important. It takes ORM from this reactive damage control thing to a strategic approach. That's baked into how the business operates.
That makes me think, if a business is just starting to pay attention to ORM, where should they even start? It can be overwhelming, right? Oh yeah, for sure. It's key to prioritize. I'd say start with what I call the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that's easy to do, but can make a big difference. Make sure you've claimed your business listings on all the major platforms, Google My Business, Yelp, TripAdvisor. You'd be surprised how many businesses forget about that.
It's like F-Bronze. They're not even on the map, literally and figuratively. And I bet having that consistent, accurate information across all those platforms, that builds trust, right?
Absolutely. Consistency is key. It shows that you're professional, reliable, and that's huge for attracting new customers. Imagine a potential customer finding different business hours or different addresses for your business on different websites. It makes them question things, and that erodes trust.
Right. So claiming your listings and making sure everything's accurate, that's a good first step. What comes next?
After you've got the basics covered, I'd say encouraging customer reviews is super important. Don't be shy about asking happy customers to leave reviews on the platforms that matter most for your industry. Remember, those reviews are like gold. They're social proof for potential customers.
That makes sense. But what about the negative reviews? Everyone gets them eventually. Is there any way to use them to your advantage? Or are they just a straight up liability?
This blog post actually has a really interesting take on that. It says that negative feedback can actually be an opportunity. I know, nobody wants bad reviews, but they're going to happen. It's all about how you handle them.
Okay, I'm listening. How can a business turn a bad review into something good?
Respond publicly, acknowledge the issue, and show that you're genuinely willing to fix the problem. A good response to a negative review can show potential customers that you take customer service seriously and that you're willing to go the extra mile.
So it's almost like you're taking a complaint and turning it into a chance to show off your company's values instead of pretending it didn't happen.
Exactly. Transparency and responsiveness. They go a long way.
It seems like ORM is really important for keeping customers too, not just attracting new ones.
You got it. A strong online reputation can create a real sense of community around your brand. When customers feel heard and valued, they're more likely to stick around and become advocates for your business.
It's like a positive feedback loop. A good online reputation makes for happy customers, and happy customers make your online reputation even better.
It all works together. And it shows how ORM is more than just a marketing tactic. It's a fundamental part of building a successful business these days.
Okay, let's say a business has got the basics covered. They've claimed their listings, they're encouraging reviews, they're responding thoughtfully to feedback. What are some of the more, I don't know, advanced things they can do?
One area that's becoming increasingly important is what we call proactive reputation building. It's about going beyond just reacting to what people are saying online and actively shaping the narrative around your brand, creating high-quality content that showcases your expertise, your values, your commitment to customer satisfaction.
So it's like you're writing your own story instead of letting the internet write it for you.
Exactly. And there's so many ways to do that. You can start a blog, share insightful content about your industry, create engaging videos that highlight your company culture. The key is to create content that resonates with your audience and positions you as a thought leader in your space.
So you're not just a vendor, you're a valuable resource for your customers.
Exactly.
That's smart. Are there any other advanced strategies that we should be talking about?
Influencer marketing is another one that's getting a lot of attention. It's basically partnering with people who have strong online presence and a loyal following in your target market.
That makes sense, especially these days when people don't really trust traditional advertising. A recommendation from someone they trust can be way more effective than some fancy ad campaign. But how do you even find the right influencers? There are so many out there.
Yeah, it's a jungle out there. The key is to find influencers who align with your brand values and whose audience matches your target market. It's not just about reach, it's about relevance and authenticity. You want to work with influencers who genuinely believe in your brand and whose audience is actually interested in what you have to offer.
So it's got to be a good fit, your brand and their audience.
Exactly.
It sounds like influencer marketing can be really powerful.
It is. But there's another aspect of advanced ORM that we need to talk about. Crisis management. No matter how proactive you are, there's always a chance that something unexpected could happen. Something that could damage your online reputation.
Oh, like what?
A product recall, a customer service disaster, even just a negative news story. These things can get out of control quickly. If you're not prepared.
That sounds kind of scary. But I guess it's better to be prepared, right?
Absolutely. The key is to have a plan in place. Before a crisis hits, identify potential risks, establish clear communication protocols, and designate a spokesperson, someone who's trained to handle media inquiries, and communicate with the public.
So it's like a fire drill for your online reputation.
You got it.
What are some specific steps businesses can take to create a good crisis management plan?
Start by taking a good look at your online presence. Identify any potential weaknesses, negative reviews that haven't been addressed, outdated content, even security issues on your website, and then come up with a clear set of guidelines for responding to negative feedback and addressing potential crises.
So be proactive.
Exactly.
Address those issues before they blow up.
But what happens when something unexpected does happen? How do you manage a crisis in real time? Speed is key.
Yeah.
The faster you respond, the better your chances of containing the damage. Transparency and honesty are crucial too. Don't try to hide things or spin the story. Own the issue, take responsibility, and explain what you're doing to fix it.
So transparency and authenticity are important here too, just like with everything else in ORM.
Exactly.
But wouldn't you also need to, keep a close eye on the situation and adapt your strategy as needed?
Absolutely. Crisis management isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. You got to be flexible. Monitor the online conversation and adjust your response as the situation changes.
This has been so insightful. I'm really starting to see how ORM is this multifaceted thing. It requires a strategic and proactive approach. It's not just about responding to reviews. It's about building a strong online presence and being prepared for anything that might come your way.
You got it. And as the digital landscape keeps evolving, so will the strategies and tools for managing online reputations. But those core principles, transparency, authenticity, customer centricity, those will always be at the heart of effective ORM.
Okay, we've talked about a lot, from those first steps to some pretty advanced ORM strategies. But for our listeners who are ready to, do something right now, what's one simple thing they can do today to start improving their online reputation?
I'd say set up a system for monitoring your online presence. It doesn't have to be fancy. You can create Google alerts for your brand name and any important products or services. That way you'll get notified whenever they're mentioned online.
So you can stay in the loop, even if you're not actively searching for mentions. What else can our listeners do to stay on top of their online reputation?
Make it a habit to check your social media mentions and reviews on different platforms. Even just a quick glance can help you spot potential problems early on. And don't forget to respond to reviews, even if it's just a quick thank you for a positive one or a sincere apology for a negative one.
Right. Those little things can really go a long way. It shows you're paying attention and that you care about your customers.
Exactly. ORM is often seen as this technical, data-driven field. And while technology definitely plays a part, it really comes down to human connection. It's about building trust, relationships, and showing that you genuinely care about your customers' experiences.
I think that's a great point. Even in the digital age, business is still all about people.
Absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in the numbers and algorithms, but the human connection, that's what really matters.
This deep dive has been amazing. I feel like I have a much better understanding of ORM now.
Me too.
It's not just a marketing strategy. It's a crucial part of building a successful business.
Couldn't agree more.
So to wrap things up, we have a question for our listeners. If you could focus on just one area of ORM, which one would have the biggest impact on your business right now? Think about the challenges you're facing, your target audience, and your long-term goals. What's one step you can take today to start shaping your online reputation and attract more of the right customers?
That's a great question. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Thank you for tuning in. Check back next week for our latest episode or visit our website, yourrepmatters.com, to take control of your online reputation. After all, reputation matters.